Hello students, this is lecture number 17 of Signal and System course, and in today's lecture we are going to discuss about the power density spectrum of periodic signals. In last couple of lectures we have represented periodic signal using Fourier series, and from the Fourier series we could actually see what frequency components in the signal are present. So, and we are also drew the spectrum of the signal. It means the magnitude of different harmonic components versus different frequencies. That is called the spectrum of the signal. And in today's lecture we are going to learn how to draw the power density spectrum of signal. This is is more frequently used spectrum as compared to simple spectrum, because the power density spectrum gives you the idea about the signals, where the signal power actually lies, at what frequencies the maximum power of the signal lies. Right? The simple example of that is the sinusoidal waveform that is being supplied as a power at our homes. Right? So that power signal should have all the power at 60 Hz frequency. Right? So if we draw the power spectrum of the power supply at our homes, then it should have only one component at 50 Hz. Right? All power should be in that component. If it has other frequency components than 50 Hz, then these other frequency components are called harmonics, and the power consumed by harmonic is simply the wasted power. So from power density spectrum you can actually determine the power contents of signal at the frequencies which are desired and the frequencies which are not desired. Right? So the undesired frequencies may be harmonics, may be noise. Right? So from power and spectral density we can actually analyze all that. The periodic signal we know has infinite energy, right? And it has finite average power. So that average power is given by this formula, Px equal to 1 upon t and magnitude of x of t square over 1 period. Right? So this formula can also be written in this form. Right? So if x of t is complex, then complex conjugate. If it is real, simply x of t will be multiplied with x of t. So we can rewrite this formula in this form. Now x of t we know can be represented in the form of this summation. This is called Fourier series summation. Right? We have represented periodic signals using this summation, right, in last lecture. So x of t can be represented in this form, and if we find out the complex conjugate of this one and substitute this value in this equation, we can actually rewrite the equation of power. So find out the complex conjugate of this and then substitute this complex conjugate instead of x star of t. So the complex conjugate of this would be e power minus j k omega naught t, and a k simply a asterisk of k. Right? So asterisk here and here represents the conjugate. So after substituting the value you will get this equation. Right? Now you can see that x of t is function of time and e power minus j k omega is also function of time. However, summation and a k does not depend upon time. So we can actually rearrange this equation. Right? So taking summation and a k out of the integral, we can rewrite this equation in this form. Right? Now we know this integral x of t into e power minus j k omega naught t is actually a k, which is Fourier coefficient or spectral coefficient. Right? A k is Fourier coefficient. So we can write down a k instead of this integral. So let us replace this in this equation and we will get px equal to summation of k minus infinity a star of k into a k, or simply we can write down in this form. So this equation is called power spectral density function. Right? And the relationship between spectral coefficient and this integral is called Parseval relation for power signals. So if we plot the spectral density function magnitude of ak square as a function of k, or in other words as a function of frequency, the plot is called power density spectrum. Right? So we have ak plotted at different values of k. Different values of k means different values of frequency. Right? So this is k equal to 0, this is k equal to 1, this is k equal to 2, 3, 4, so on, and this is k equal to -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. Right? And the value of ak, magnitude of ak square at k equal to 0, at k equal to 1. So from this graph you can actually determine at what frequencies the power of the signal is maximum. For example, at k equal to 0 we have huge power, and at k equal to 1 we have comparatively smaller, and it is getting smaller as the frequency is increasing. So from the power spectrum you can determine at what frequencies the signal has more strength as compared to other frequency. So this function is called power spectral density function, PSD, right? Which is this is the terminology. This is quite oftenly used in literature, power spectral density, or PSD. Right? So this is PSD of any signal, any periodic signal, right? Or it is also called power spectrum. So it is called power density spectrum, or sometimes it is called power spectrum, and quite it is called power spectral density, or PSD. Now let's solve some examples. Let us determine the power spectral density function for this periodic square wave, and we already are familiar with this example. We have solved this example in lecture number 15, 16 in Fourier series. So the mathematical relationship or mathematical representation of the signal is given this in this equation. The signal is equal to 1 as long as t is between -t1 and t1, and it is equal to 0 elsewhere. Right? So we are considering only one period. Right? We are not considering entire time. We are only considering one period, the one which is highlighted or represented by this red arrow. Right? So we are considering only one period, and the representation of the signal over one period is given by this equation. Now we already know from lecture number 15 and 16, a naught is equal to 1/2, and ak is equal to sin pi k upon 2 divided by pi k. So this is basically ak at k equal to 0, and this is ak when k is not equal to 0. Right? So the PSD function can be written in this form. Ak magnitude square would be 1/4 when k is equal to 0, and it is equal to square of this when k is not equal to 0. So this is PSD function. We can expand this different values of k. For example, here this is k equal to 0, then when we substitute k equal to 1, this would be sin pi by 2 upon pi, right? Sin pi by 2 upon pi. Then k equal to 2, it would be simply sin pi upon 2 pi, right? And for example, k equal to 3, it would be sin 3 pi upon 2 upon 3 pi, and so on. Similarly for negative values. So the values on the right of 1/4 are the values for positive values of k, and these are the values for negative values of k. Simplifying these values, you get this. So this is power spectral density of square wave. Right? Now we can plot these values. Now this is simple spectrum of ak versus k. Right? So you can see here we have positive and negative values, and it's quite hard to determine at what frequencies signal has maximum strength, because we have positive and negative values. The spectrum, power spectrum, it means the magnitude of ak square versus frequency versus k. All the values would be positive, and comparison would be much easier. Right? So you can see in this power spectrum of a square wave, the maximum power is contained in the DC component, right? And the second highest is the fundamental frequency component. Then the second harmonic has 0 power, third harmonic has some power, fourth harmonic is 0, fifth harmonic has contains a very small power, and successively you can see that power is decreasing. So maximum power lies in fundamental frequency and the DC component, right? So this is what you can analyze from the power spectrum or power spectral density of any periodic signal. Now moving on to example number 2, this is the waveform at the output of a full wave rectifier. The maximum peak is 3 volt, and the mathematical representation of the signal will be V of t equal to 3 sin t from 0 to pi, right? So we have to draw the power spectral density. We have to determine the power spectral density function of this waveform and then draw the PSD. We know that AK is equal to 6 upon pi 1 minus 4k square, right? We have already solved this example in lecture number 15 and 16. So if you want to know how we determine AK, please refer to this lecture, right? Now the PSD is simply square of the magnitude of this, right? Square of the magnitude of this would be 36 upon pi square 1 minus 4k square whole square, right? So now let us write down this function for different values of k, right? K equal to 0, we have 36 upon pi square, right? This one, this is the component for k equal to 0. Similarly, this one is for k equal to 1, then k equal to 2, and so on. This is k equal to minus 1 and k equal to minus 2, and so on. Now this is simple spectrum, AK versus frequency, AK versus k, and this is AK magnitude square versus k, right? You can again see that the maximum frequency, maximum power is in DC component, and it should be in the DC component because output is pulsating DC, right? However, some of the power is still in fundamental frequency component, right? If it was pure DC, then the maximum power would be at k equal to 0, and other ideally should be other frequency component should have 0 power ideally, right? But we know it is a pulsating DC waveform, it is not pure DC waveform, therefore there are still some harmonics in it, right? This one, like this one, and this one. Here's the exercise problem for you. We have a bipolar square wave here represented by this mathematical expression, and determine the power spectral density. Draw the power spectral density for this. Similarly, this one, this is a similar example or the same example exactly that I gave you in lecture number 14 and 15, and this one as well. A triangular waveform is a periodic waveform. So in all these cases, determine the power spectral density function and draw the power spectral density, right? You can either draw it manually or you can use MATLAB for plotting. So that is end of lecture number 17, and if you have any queries, you can contact me using my email address given on the first slide. Thank you very much all.